John and I are here to talk about the 2006 entry of Black Christmas.
Yeah.
I told John, I was like, we should have done the new one.
Rebuild yourself, bitch.
What's your favorite scary movie? Swallow this.
Welcome back to another episode of the Arrow in the Head Show. Of course, I'm Lance, and I am here with my host, the Arrow himself, Mr. John Fallon. John, every single time I ask you how you're doing, I always meet it, buddy. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I went to this, I told you last show I was going to experience with Sylvester Stallone VIP dinner.
Yes, yeah.
Which was 85% pretty freaking good. It was very expensive to go there. They give you a 3-course meal, which is basically course 1, 5 leaves of salad, course 2, tiny piece of meat, and course 3, some like bullshit dessert. Well, whatever. See nice little reels of Stallone's career. Really nice. Stallone came on stage for about 2 hours and, talked about his career and stuff like that. And I was right in the front row, so it was pretty cool, to hear him talk, and as affable and charismatic as ever. But then came the third leg of the thing where I got take a picture with Stallone. That's the reason I went, really, because I wanted to shake his hand, say thank you for all the inspiration you've given me over the years, and take a picture with the guy. I already have his autograph from a ways back, so it's not about, So anyways, I got a lineup for pictures. I'm looking at that fucking lineup, and I'm like, my God, Sylvester Stallone's like a mega star. He's really going to stick around to take these fucking pictures. And of course, about like 9 people before I get to my turn. And you know what happened. And the security guy comes up to me, sorry, Mr. Stallone's not feeling well. It's off, you'll get a refund. And you're looking at about like $1,000 or some shit for that picture, So, yeah, that gutted me a little bit because kind of put a sour... That was the main reason I went.
Yeah.
But then the next day, my chick and I really had a good time. And so it was still a great experience, but I was a bit sour. And of course, now that it's time for my refund, nobody's answering my emails. So we'll see.
Man. Oh, fuck. I didn't know I was going to go this way.
My dad taught me about hard work and being an alcoholic, but you taught me everything else. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Yeah. But,
I mean, it's like voting. Once you're in line, you should be allowed. Nobody gets in line after, but you're in line. You get to shake the man's hand and take the picture. Damn.
It is what it is. Such is life. So, on that note, here's a picture of me with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Well, I mean, it is mid-December, buddy, and we're here to talk about... I don't know if I call it a cult classic, if I call it a hated movie. I don't really know what it's thought of anymore, but John and I are here to talk about the 2006 entry of Black Christmas.
Yeah.
I told John, I was like, we should have done the new one.
Rebuild yourself, bitch.
It's amazing. We would have got together, learned about our problems, how to solve them. I was like, yeah, John.
Yeah. It's a girl-splaining movie, right? I've never seen it, so.
If Twitter could become sentient and write a movie about why I'm an asshole, not me personally, but like,
Men, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm going to be looped in with some jerk from, I don't know, like fucking Charleston. That would be the movie.
Before we get into the movie, tradition, what are you drinking?
Okay, so this is going to be a little pathetic, but it's midweek. I'm trying to drink less during the week and more on the weekends, like an adult. But I was falling asleep to Always Sunny last night, and one of the best episodes came on. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's where Frank has a drinking problem, and the gang puts him through an intervention. And while they're doing it, they realize if you put wine in like a Coke can, you can walk around drinking wine all day. So I went to the store and I got like wine in a can.
Let me just say as a side note, I am loving this canned wine thing. I think it's brilliant. Right? I mean, I'm active, I'm gesturing with my hands, and I don't feel restricted. I mean, if I was holding a wine glass right now, I'd be spilling wine all over the goddamn
everywhere.
place.
Yeah, well, look, we're not intervening on Frank for a lack of good ideas.
Well, that's for sure.
It's not great, but it's like 12%.
Yeah.
Or, it's better. That's higher than a beer, so I can knock this back and feel good.
Awesome, dude. Well,
How about
I'm
you?
going with something I never had before, but it's what I found in my friend's fridge. So, Fat Tire Ale beer.
Yeah, Colorado.
No, Belgium.
All right. Well, cheers to you, John, and to everybody at home.
Cheers to you too.
You got a
And by
better
the-
drink than me.
Yeah, I think so.
I know so.
Hello, my friends! Hey!
If you don't mind, because I'm curious, I was looking for new ideas as to drinks. What about, you spit in the comments what you're drinking when you're watching the show. Maybe you'll inspire me and for the next episode. So just saying. All right, Black Christmas 2006. I'm actually going to let you run with it. But before you do, I will say that I am a huge fan of the 1974 Bob Clark film starring Olivia Hussey and, of course, the great and late John Saxon.
It's Saxon, yeah. Margot
Yeah,
Kidder.
Margot Kidder. And, I came into this remake with apprehension when it was initially released. And having watched it last night, so what'd you think?
Oh, cliffhanger. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess I'll set this up just because I would hate for you to be the bad guy ever.
I don't care.
I've never cared for the original Black Christmas. I know it's a hot take. I don't care. I've given it like 8 watches. I respect Bob Clark. I'm glad he did it. Yada, yada, yada. John Carpenter came in and did it better than Halloween. But here's the thing. I get that Black Christmas is important, and I think it's cool for the most part, but I just think it has that, dude, and we're going to go over it again, that pacing where I'm like, come on. But Margot Kidder is a scene stealer. I like Saxon.
It's called suspense, by the way, generating suspense, yeah.
Peter, I don't want to marry you.
Hurry up.
All right.
The girl's father like sits down, kind of hangs out. It's like 40 minutes of the screen time. But here's the thing, whatever. I mean, I'm alone on this, so it's not even a fight. It's like Suspiria. It's like I know where I stand. I've lost at the very beginning. I'm not going to win this argument. But that being said, I went into this one when I was in my 20s when it came out. I remember I saw it and I hated it. I was so annoyed. It does have some of the tropes in the 2000s that I've never liked, at least in the early 2000s. But I have grown to actually thoroughly enjoy this for being a dumb schlocky movie, because it's not good in like the sense of I guess character development. But if you could get past the name Black Christmas, because I think I will say this, it did one thing that, love or hate it, I think any remake should do, which is the complete opposite. I hate when I watch the same movie twice.
Funnily enough, when Glenn Morgan got tapped to do the remake, he went to Bob Clark and told him, this is what I want to do. And Bob Clark was like, you know what, I'm going to champion you doing this remake. And Bob Clark came in as a co-producer. Glenn's approach was actually expanding on the elements from the original. For example, the Billy, and the name of the sister was Agnes. So those Billy, in Billy's phone calls in the original, he mentions Agnes in a phone call.
But you don't know, but it's he's
you don't know who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So so he expanded on the mythology of the original, but he was going to keep to the same subtlety and the same suspense-driven approach that Mr. Clark took, as opposed to like a gore fest. But then the Weinsteins, good old Weinsteins, kicked in. So, for example, the scene with the cookie, the skin cookies, the Christmas cookies, that was not Bob Clark or Glenn Morgan. That was there was Harvey Weinstein. What's the other dude's name? Asshole Weinstein. What was it?
I was just thinking Harvey, but his brother.
The other guy. Who gives a shit?
The Weinsteins. Yeah.
That's it. So he wanted that. So there was a lot of fighting between Glenn Morgan and the Weinsteins in terms of the direction to take with the film, to the point that when the film came out, Glenn Morgan pretty much disowned it. And so did Bob Clark. And Bob Clark actually went about to write a real sequel to the original Black Christmas, bringing back Saxon when he was still alive, and bringing back Olivia Hussey. But Bob Clark passed on before he could get his real sequel to Black Christmas made. So little history there.
funny though, because let me say this: I did know that it had some production issues because the trailer is famous for having scenes shot just for the trailer that were never intended to be in the movie.
Yeah,
and I remember that pissing me off because the coolest thing, the trailer, and I went to see this because I was in my 20s, early 20s, was that cool Christmas light almost. I don't know what it is, but it drags the person in. I was like, oh, that's cool, and then I was never there.
Or the girl under the ice.
The ice, and
the hand comes out, or the
Billy on top, like Batman.
On the ceiling. Yeah, they specifically only shot that for the trailer. It was never intended.
Very slimy. Very slimy.
Yeah, it's very slimy. It's very slimy. And actually, like, the girl that finds the girl under the ice in the trailer is not even in the movie. That actress not in the movie. She's just in the trailer.
Well, it's funny you say that because what I've grown to love, and it's actually a slightly complaint, but it's my biggest defense, is that I like that it's not suspenseful. I like that it's kind of like over the top gore fest, even though I think the gore is a little tame at times, or like it has it, but I feel like they cut right away. It doesn't like kind of linger.
Did you watch there's a unrated cut that's out?
I don't know what cut I watched because I don't own it.
Because if I remember correctly, the film came out in Europe on December 15, and then it got shipped to the States, and then they took that cut and then they released it on Christmas, which caused some uproar because it was on Christmas, and it
says in the trailer, I released in Christmas. I was like, that's kind of cool.
Exactly. But they made the tweaks they wanted to make, So there's a lot of alternate scenes and stuff like that, different ending and stuff like that in European cut.
I have to look into it because I'm assuming I feel like I've seen just the cut I've always seen, so I don't think I've seen that. I mean, that would probably make me happier because I don't think, no offense, in 2006, especially a Weinstein produced horror movie was going to be good or suspenseful. I know, let's be honest, by this point they were far into their tweaking and
well, they're sausage factory. That's what the Weinsteins were, a sausage factory.
And that breaks my heart because, I mean, Glenn Morgan disowns it, but I would say that his directing is so stylish. His shot compositions, like a lot of split diopters, a lot of pans, some zooms. I mean, this motherfucker's getting down. He's like getting really into it, and that's not, to me, not like necessarily suspenseful directing. It's very like energetic directing. I feel this movie's very energetic, and obviously characters get left out on the wayside. But I guess I view this movie to me as very fun. And it's a movie that I would have told you I hated 12 years ago. So maybe in my old age, I'm becoming softer and I'm kind of letting things go. But I mean, this was fun.
I'm able to appreciate a remake if it's good. And I thought it sucked major ass.
Still, huh?
Oh yeah. No, actually when I saw it when it first came out, I thought, it's all right. Now I thought it sucked major ass.
So as years going down, I'm going up. I love it.
Yeah,
look at this.
Yeah. I mean, the characters, all of the sorority sisters, I guess, right? They're all unlikable. There's nobody likable in that freaking movie, and the people that have the potential to be likable have the less screen time. All they do around is sit around and bitch and moan and complain. They don't do anything.
And her mother's dead. She has no boyfriend, no family. I mean, really, where does she have to go?
The house mother, who was actually played by an actress that was also in the original, she was the most animated and engaging, hero character. You're all unlikable. So I'm basically supposed to wait and watch you get whacked. I thought the pacing was clip pace, but nothing really happening engaged me. The only time I would feel anything watching this movie was when it went for shock value, which it did a lot because that's all it had. Let's go for shock value, human cookies, or, Billy impaled on the thing, or, eyeballs being ripped out and eaten and stuff like that. That's all it's got. Don't get me wrong. I appreciated some of the visual style and the production design, which was really excessive, really excessive with the Christmas, it looked like, I don't even know how to describe it. Sometimes
Santa came on everything. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Everything was so amped. But I mean, let's be fair. Even Christmas movies don't have this much Christmas shit in it. I appreciate that. The hallway, it's like they fucking the hospital had lights on the railings. I'm like, that doesn't exist. tinsels everywhere. I mean, I don't know. I thought that was fun. I mean, yeah. How about this? I liked it for. I think the reason I hate it is because it's. Yeah, all the girls were like really bitchy. And
no. But there's no suspense. I didn't find the film engaging from scene to scene to scene, like the storyline, for example, as it evolved. I didn't give a fuck. I found it somewhat convoluted.
I could see that. I mean, they kept mentioning names.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's it did nothing. It did nothing, and it felt like it was.
I'm surprised a little, honestly.
You know what I don't think helped? I watched this other movie before, which I never heard of, slasher horror flick with hints of 70s, 80s like action, like cop action. It's called Amsterdamned, and I highly recommend it, by the way.
I never heard of it.
Yeah. My friend Eric Fred introduced me to it, and it's about, you know, in Holland, in Amsterdam, they have the canals, you know, and this scuba diver serial killer scuba dives through the canals and just is fucking people up. He whacked peeps left and right, and there's a cop on the case, and you know, trying to crack the case. And it was a very, very ambitious film that used elements we've seen before in like Jaws or The French Connection or, you know, a Friday 13 movie, for example, and put them all in one and really created like a really well-rounded film. Last act aside, last act kind of got sloppy. But there's a speedboat chase between a killer and a cop in the canals, and it has to be seen to be believed. It's the equivalent of the car chase in The French Connection. So I saw a real film, a real movie.
That's your own fault. But this is Black Christmas from 2006. I mean, do you remember how mainstream horror was in like that early mid 2000s? It was a rough time for Americans.
It was.
I lived through it.
It was.
I lived through it, and I remember I've said this for my whole life. And there's amazing movies in the 2000s of horror, but as a whole, it to me was the dark ages. I lived through it. I remember everything that came out was so lame. You know, I'm putting this on you, man. Like, yeah, don't watch real movies before you watch an 2006 Black Christmas remake. But then again, I bet if you saw the new one, you'd come back and be like, Lance, this is a fucking masterpiece, you know?
Maybe. I'll never see it though.
Rebuild yourself, bitch.
So until we do it on the future episode, buddy, come on.
You'll do it with Tyler. I ain't doing it. Fuck you. I just want to watch a horror movie, man. If you're gonna preach to me how much a piece of shit I am, fuck you, dude. You ain't getting my time. My time is money. You ain't getting my money or my time.
All right. Well, I was going to ask. So, is there anything positive? Do you have a scene you like? I mean,
I just remember the things I don't. There was one scene I really got on my nerves where finally somebody, because of course the whole movie could have ended. It's really simple. And there's a fucking killer in the fucking house. There's a blizzard outside. Fair enough. I don't give a shit. Open the door. Run outside. You know that house, at some point there's a shot through a window. There's another house across the street with the lights. Yes. Once you go to that house, knock on the door, can we call the police? We got problems. Nobody ever does that. At a certain point, somebody tries to do that. And the house mother, and I think it's the girl from the thing, remake, what's it called? What's she called?
Heather Fitzgerald is her name in the movie, but Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah. And they want to go out and get in the car and leave. And the other girls, you know, finally somebody makes the right decision. Let's all get the hell out of here and leave. And the other girl, no, we're not leaving until we find so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, even though they've already found cadavers. So we could all assume that they're dead, you know, but no, we're not leaving. We're sisters.
We stay together. We lock up the house, we grab the fireplace poker or ski pole or some shit, and for the next 2 hours, not let each other out of our sight.
No, we are driving to the police station.
In this weather?
Even if they can't do anything, at least we will all be safe there.
Dad, we're not all here.
Sisters stand together. Sure. Like you're all fucking idiots. You're all idiots. Get out the house, go across the street, call the cops, roll credits. It's over. So there was too many things like that. Stupid. At some point, one chick has like this monologue, like I don't know if it was trying to be Gremlins, like, you know, with Phoebe Cates' monologue in Gremlins.
It's real dark.
Yeah, real dark. You know, the cameras, you know, she's really, you know, close up and says this thing. I'm like, what's going on here, man? What are you doing? So yeah, on that, positives. Even Billy looked like an idiot. I don't want to be scared of this guy. He looked like a freaking moron. And the girl was most likely not a girl, right?
No, it was played by a guy. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Positives, you know, some nice framing, some nice camera work now and then. The lights were nice. A couple times actually on close-ups, the Christmas light would give kind of like the appearance that, you know, we're watching like Suspiria, like a heightened kind of bring it back. Every road leads back to Suspiria, bro. But no, not really. I'll never watch it again. I will never ever watch that fucking movie again, dude.
Wow.
It sucks. It's not even fun. So that's it.
Okay, well, fair enough. I actually had more fun this time. I feel like every time I watch, I'm like, oh, this is kind of fun. It's dumb. I'm rooting for the killers. I like that it's this weird, convoluted story about a Simpsons character that has incest with his mother forcibly, that has a fucking kid that's a killer. He's in the mental institution. I love that everything has like that Suspiria coloring. Absolutely, it's like blues and reds, and it's all hyper stylistic for no reason. I mean, I think the kills are all fun, even if they do cut a little too early.
They do, yeah.
Hold on, let me see. I was going to say, I thought the cinematography was surprisingly good. And I was like, what has this guy done? I looked him up. His name is Robert McLaughlin, and he's done a bunch of random stuff, but nothing that kind of hit home. But he did Final Destination and Game of Thrones. So I will say the look of the movie is really nice. I thought the women were really, and I'm a guy, so I'm just going to say it. I was in my, like I said, early 20s when this came out. These were what hot girls looked like. Like, there's a girl, I had like a fucking crush on her when I was watching this, and I was like porting myself back to being 18 in high school. Her name, it's a weird name, and in the movie it's Lauren. She's like the Margot Kidder character, and I liked her because she was just such a bitch. She kept talking shit. Her name's
the drunk, right?
Yeah, Yan Key Crystal Lowe. And I love it because I don't know. I'm assuming this takes place in America, so I apologize if I'm making an incorrect joke here.
It was shot in Vancouver, by the way.
Well, her Canadian, I pick up an accent as well, and I kept pausing it to show Emily. I was like, Emily, it's coming out again. That fucking accent kept coming out. I loved it. I was like, this is adorable.
Police ain't gonna do shit about one whack job. Oh, fuck, no. What would you know about dealing with anyone other than your NASCAR daddy?
But I'm just saying, so there's a bunch of cute women walking around getting killed. I had a blast, man. I got to be honest. I think I had a lot of fun. I do admit, though, that I think all your problems are true, but this is one of those movies where I'm able to just sort of ignore it because I'm not rooting for anybody, But that's the thing. It's like I'm not rooting for a single person here. But one thing I found was clever. I kept thinking that the main girl was another girl because they kept killing off who you think is the main girl. Like at first it's Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She's the main girl. She's banged. She's innocent. She seems to be taking charge, and then midway through the killer. And then it's like, oh, it's going to be the older sister. She's the main character. She's tough. She's not going to take any shit. And then they kill her. And it ends up being some random blonde. So I'll give them credit that they established the main character and then kept basically killing him off. And I thought that was fun. I didn't ever think I'd be in a position where I'm defending Black Christmas 06, John. So this is kind of weird for me. I just wrote that it was fun and dumb and that it looked kind of pretty. And we don't get a lot of Christmas horror. I wouldn't put it as my top favorite. I probably wouldn't defend it in public because I like it in a very surface level, but I used to hate the hell out of it. So maybe, like I said, maybe it's gone soft, maybe it's that road where like I just kind of see things over and over. I'm like, too bad, ain't too bad.
You know what? It's a bit like when you have a breakup and when you're in love and then you have a breakup and then it goes to hate. But the best place you want to be at after getting hurt is indifference. And after watching Black Christmas 2006 yesterday, I felt hurt, but really quickly I reached the point of indifference. I don't give a fuck either way. I like I like So Bad It's Good movies, and they usually have something that grabs me and takes me for a ride. And this one didn't grab me. I just didn't care. It's not the characters and this and that. The chain of events, I didn't care. The kills, outside of a couple of things may go, ooh, but I didn't care. The ending in the hospital, I didn't care. I just didn't give a blank fuck. Yeah, I didn't care. Did you get the impression that I really didn't care?
I mean, I didn't until you kept saying you didn't care, and I was like, I don't think John cares, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure, John. That's fair. Again, I got to be honest. This is one of those where like I don't want to fight you because I don't like it that much. I'm in the weird position of like being like, no, John, it's okay. I liked it, yeah, but I don't know. I guess there's not a lot of Christmas horror, and I think there's not a lot of Christmas horror that I feel is stylized and at least up in production. There's a lot of very cheap shit. So I guess I was just happy to kind of witness something that I thought was more polished than it should have been. Like I said, at least it's not the worst one.
So I hear. Actually, funnily enough, about Glenn Morgan, his film before was Willard, the remake of Willard.
With Glover, yeah.
And that tanked. And when he did Black Christmas, he said, if this movie tanks as well, my theatrical career as a director is over. And it tanked as well. And it was over.
Yeah, he just did the X-Files after this.
Yeah, he did TV. And that was it. So, and I understand why. Because that movie, I actually like the Willard remake.
It was good.
But this one is.
But you're in the business, so I don't take it as a prideful thing. Like if it bombs, it's bad. I take it as he got fucked around so much that what you're saying is that if it bombs, I'm not going through the shittiness of Hollywood, or that's how I'm taking it.
No. Oh,
just
they won't hire. At the end of the day, the director takes the rap. So no matter how much the studio fucked with your movie, it's Glenn Morgan's fault. And then Hollywood won't hire you because you're only as good as your last movie. And that's one thing I learned at a certain point when I was writing reviews for Everyone Ahead, when I was still new to everything, how the business worked. I'd watch a film and I'd blame the screenwriter, or I'd watch a film and fully blame the director. The screenwriter, second his script is optioned by a studio, that's it, dude. They could write penis 50 fucking times and it's your name on it. That's it, done. They could do whatever they want. So the screenwriter is the first one to usually get fucked in this process. And the director, especially when you're talking about a big studio picture like this, same shit. Whoever has the money controls the show. So but the director is always the scapegoat. That's the thing. Nobody's gonna blame Harvey Weinstein or the other Weinstein dude, whatever his fucking name is, for the box office failure of Black Christmas. It's Glenn Morgan's fault, and that's why he didn't work again, because nobody would hire him.
Heartbreaking, but it's funny. You've told me this before off camera. It has changed the way I think about movies. It's one of those that I never paid attention to producers or executive producers, but now I know, like, oh, those assholes actually have a bigger hand in the pot, and they're gonna do whatever they want to do. But the second that it fails, they walk away like, I was never even there. What are you talking about? It's a Malibu at my house. It's like, no, you change the ending, you change the character, you change the movie. So it's interesting because it's this kind of stuff that I like talking about with you, because I wouldn't know this if it wasn't for you, because it says writer-director.
Yeah. No, look, it even goes with stars. Like I know for a fact that, for example, Nighthawks with Stallone and Billy D. Williams. Stallone really directed. He was such a big star after Rocky that he had the pull and the weight to be able to dictate to the director, who was nobody. If it would have been Coppola or De Palma, that's a different. But look at the director of fucking Nighthawks, for example. He's nobody. Well, and you could see Stallone's fingerprints all over it. The same thing with Rambo: Last Blood. Rambo: Last Blood, Stallone was initially going to direct it, but this other dude directed it, and you could see Stallone's imprints all over it. I call it a puppet director. It's a director that does all the heavy lifting, but the creative direction is dictated by somebody with more power. Same thing with Get the Gringo with Mel Gibson. It looks like Mel Gibson directed it, and it's actually the same director that directed Last Blood.
I didn't know that, but you're right. It does seem like a Gibson director.
Because the gentleman that directed Last Blood and Get the Gringo is the kind of director, he's okay with that.
I'll director for hire.
Exactly, basically, So
it makes the movie industry so much more interesting when I hear stuff like this, because it's like you never know. I wrote down how great Glenn Morgan did, and I didn't know he disowned it. So I knew there's meddling. I didn't know it was that much. So it just shows you that even when you think you don't know. But that's what makes it so fun, though.
That's Hollywood, man. Hollywood is it always killed me. Oh, this guy's really talented. He I trust him, so I'm gonna hire him. And once I hire him, I'm gonna disagree with him and fight him and put in my own vision, because I'm a fucking artist. No, you're a business.
I'm not gonna trust him. I'm gonna hire a guy I trust and then not trust him the second I hire him. Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing about show business, and it says it in the name, show, which is art, but business is business. So the Weinsteins shooting like shots just for the trailer to mislead the audience basically as to the film they're going to see, that's business, and it's also pretty scammy,
very scammy.
And what Glenn Morgan tried to do, with the visuals and everything, what he was allowed to do, that's the art part. So it's like oil and water, business and art, but yet here we are and we're talking about films, and that's what it is.
It's either you do it for no money or you somehow make it in the business where people leave you alone, huh?
Even
There's
if
no
you
middle
do,
ground.
even if you do it for a low budget, if you finance it yourself, like my first film, The Shelter, I financed myself. I had full control. My second film, Break, money came from other parties, and there was conflicts. It just happens.
Well, like any set. But you're basically saying, but you're the director, so it's still your name, regardless of
exactly.
what happens.
It should be, so you try to compromise. Well, I tried to compromise, and come to a place where I could stand behind the project, even though I do not fully agree with every decision in it, because other people who also have some leverage kind of wanted to do this when I wanted to do that and stuff like that. So it's not just studio stuff. It's at the end of the day, you want full control on your project as a director. Finance it. That's it. Done.
Either way, I'm sorry that you hated the movie. If I knew that, I'm not that sorry, because it's like, oh, you poor guy to sit down and watch a 90-minute movie. But I'm just saying, I didn't realize you hated as much as you did. So I guess
I didn't either until last night. Until last night, man. But like I said,
it was just like,
I set myself up badly with Amsterdam. See that movie, guys. Last act needs a little, but the first two acts are really rock solid. I was like, okay, this is fucking shit. And then to wash away Black Christmas, I watched one of my favorites, So Bad It's Good, The Specialist.
Oh, with Sharon Stone and Stallone.
And Stallone, yeah, who have absolutely zero freaking chemistry together. They're so, and that makes it hilarious. They're so into, and Stallone is made of granite in that movie, They're so into themselves more than they are into each other, and it shows,
It's been a long time. That's the one about the bombs, right? Is that the one where, okay. I remember renting that as a kid when it first came out. I remember being new and watching it and being like, oh, because I was always watching, the Rambos. I was watching Over the Top, Tango and Cash, all little Stallones, and then I remember renting that. I'd be like, this is very good.
I swear the shower scene between Stallone and Sharon Stone is more about Stallone. Yeah. And dude, like, he looked fantastic. He looks like a painting of Michelangelo a couple times, man. The way he turns, and I'm like, God damn. And then you got James Wood chewing the scenery like nobody's business. This is hilarious.
He's always been great.
And you got Eric Roberts playing,
Maybe you like me.
Nice scumbag Rod Steiger overacting left and right. It's other than the pacing, this could easily have been a 90-minute movie in my a lot of there's a lot of scenes that could have been shorter, but it's a great, So Bad It's Good movie, man. Black Christmas 2006. How do you feel about it? Do you dig it? Do you think it's fun cheese like Mr. Lance does? Do you think it's boring and uneventful and just sloppily made like I do? Let us know your opinions. There are no right or wrong opinions, just good taste like mine and bad taste like Lance. So there you go.
There's no stupid questions, you stupid people, right?
Exactamundo. All right, buddy.
Well, until next time, I'm going to finish this discuss and drink off, and I will see you same bat time, same bat channel.
You got it, buddy. Have a good one, man. Cheers to all of you.